And we're back for another episode of The Buzz, where we bring you the best in gospel as well as wholesome content. Follow us on all platforms, Gospel Music Buzz. And today we have the amazing honor of speaking to someone that has been popping up all over our feeds for the last few weeks. She's an amazing recording artist, actress, life coach, and owner of Whole Life, Latice Crawford. Welcome to the show. How are you, Latice?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well. I won't complain.
I hear you, man. I'm like, I'm going through my news feed today, and it's like almost every few minutes I'm seeing you at Fox, I'm seeing you here, there. I mean, you're just working it today, man. I love it. I love it.
They're keeping me busy. They're keeping me busy.
Listen, after a year like 2020, I guess busy is good, right?
Right, exactly.
So I know you just dropped your new EP, The Cure. We're going to jump into the EP in a second. We're going to talk about, one of my new favorite, songs as well, that Your Fault that you dropped. There's amazing visuals. I mean, it's giving me 80s vibes. It's giving me everything. I don't know, if I should try to break dance or regular dance, hurt myself. I don't know what's happening, but, it's making me do something. So, something. See what I did there? See that? It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna pull it back though. I'm pull it back because I'm excited. So listen, that after a year like 2020, if you were to choose, one country to live in where you can spend an entire year, what country would that be and why?
Ooh, I don't know if I would go anywhere else. I mean, I think that while there is beauty, in other places, we have a lot of convenience and, as many things, as we fight against, as far as our freedom goes, we still do have some different freedoms that other countries don't. So I think I'd stay, right here and just stick it out in the thick of it.
I like it. Stay right here. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Now, another, what I like to call icebreaker question before we really jump into it. What's a hobby of yours that not too many people are aware of?
Cooking.
Cooking. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people do know I cook because they see it on my page. I would say maybe the type of books that I read. I'm like very, very fascinated with human behavior, weather patterns, and like psychology and stuff. So I read a lot of those kind of books about the human brain, the way we, why we act the way we do, and a lot of weather related books. Yeah.
Weather related books. Okay, we might have to have another follow on to talk a little bit about that. That seems intriguing, but it's all right. Today we're here to talk about The Cure. Tomorrow we'll talk about weather and psychology. I love it. So listen, I know a lot has happened, right, since BT Sunday Best, getting signed by E1 in 2019. And again, excited about that. Got so much ideas you have working going on. And then boom, 2020 happened. Everyone kind of took a still pad, but you kept working, right? You kept doing what you were doing because you brought us this amazing project. So how did you stay focused in the midst of all that to still continue to write, to produce, just to kind of bring us this body of work that's in front of us today?
To be honest with you, I took the pause just like everybody else did. Thankfully enough, these songs and stuff were written, produced, and recorded before the pandemic hit. The pandemic it actually put a pause and a hold on us releasing it when we originally wanted to. Like I thought it was a good thing. I think that these songs took on new identities for me. New meaning for me, even then, some of the original reasons that I wrote them. So, taking that pause in this pandemic was very, very important for me because it was, a time of grief, for me. And a time of readjusting. I had lost my mother and became a homeschool teacher all within a week. Wow. It was a lot, to process. And so I think I just needed the time to stop and really go back and listen to the words of the songs to make sure that was really still where I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And kind of just make it even more personal to you. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's okay. So that's good to know. I did not know that part. So that's good to know. And then I also noticed as I was going through and doing my research on you, it says life coach. So what is a life coach? You know, everyone says, "Oh, I need a life coach. I need." What does a life coach do?
A life coach is a real thing. And I know that it's, somewhat cliche and, kind of thrown around just as much as we throw around toxicity and, whatever else. But it is a real thing and it's a very powerful tool. I remember when I was looking for counseling, I was going through a very dark period in my life and, trying to navigate through this industry. And, it's a lot to go through at one time. And I was looking for, like I said, counseling. And I had went to an office to seek a counselor. And I believe it was the assistant or whoever it was that was taking the appointment. Now I live up, way up in the mountains. So you wouldn't think that anybody, and it ain't a whole lot of, us up there. So I wasn't thinking anybody would know who I was or anything. And she called me and said, "Oh, I know I just made your appointment, but I had to ask, are you Latice Crawford, the singer?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh my God, I just bought your album. When you come in, can you sign my project?" And it was like, again, geez, my platform supersedes my need for healing. I don't even have a safe place there. And so I started thinking of how can I be a safe place? How can I be, a safe place for people in the industry? How can I be a safe place for women? How can I be the safe place? And so, I had already had most of the certifications, but then I went and got my life coach certification to become one. And so a life coach just really teaches you new tools to deal with old traumas and old toxicity. We just walk with you through life.
I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna need me one of those at some point. help put a pep in my step as I walk through this thing called life.
Listen, I needed one too. After that whole counseling situation, I actually was recommended to me to find a life coach, and I did. And it was great because it challenged me to really do the work. It wasn't just me sitting there and complaining and staying in it. And I'm not saying counseling doesn't work, because it does for some. But for me, I'm the type of person that if you show me where I fell short, if you show me where I needed to be responsible, it makes it a lot easier for me to go and figure out where I need to pick up from. And so having a life coach was great for me. And then I, ultimately became one.
Awesome. So now the music, because I know, everyone came for the life coach, but they're going to stay for the music, right?
That's
so
right.
We're here for the music, The Cure. I mean, this body of work, I don't even know how to describe it. So you tell me. So starting with the title, I know the lead track there, The Cure, the title track. But what made you even came up with that title, The Cure? Like, what was the thought process going into that?
I think I was just looking for something different than what I had already had. I tried so many different pills, the temporary things we tried to get through life, and none of them were working. And, one day I just was like, what is the cure? Like, what is the cure to all of this? Is it a person? Is it a thing? What is it? And, it wasn't really until I think I started when my dad passed, and then I started seeing my mom, fighting through cancer. And I was just like, wow, like I said, again, what is this cure? And it wasn't, really, like I said, until my mom really said, as long as I'm down here, it's always going to be something. This cure for her was her releasing her will to keep fighting and saying, let me go, and just her how strong she was in that, and how sure she was that it's like there was another cure beyond what this world can give. And so it's not to say, that I want to die, but it let me know that I needed to die to the things that weren't serving me. I needed to die to the things that were, killing me. I needed to die to the things that were maintaining it and maintaining the, the problems and the sickness, and really let it all go and be willing to amputate, anything that wasn't servicing me or wasn't going to make me that sure when it was my time to go. So that's what it was.
Wow. That's I definitely couldn't have expressed it like that. That's amazing. Just to think about it. And again, it's one of those things, because listening to the album, it puts me in that place. Like, when you go into church and the pastor is preaching and you're like, everything is applying to me. And then you look at whether you're a teenager, you look at your mom, if you have a spouse, you look at your spouse like, did you tell the pastor about us? Like, did you tell him why is he talking to me like this? Why is he out here busting me out like this? So basically just listening to it, because even when you mention, all these temporary fixes because I didn't trust him to fix it. I mean, I'm like, what? That's like, it kind of just hits, right? Because we try all these different things and everything else, and then we still at the end of it, we're still coming back looking for that cure. So, just listening to it
Yeah.
all, it's like, man, this is solid. But then you kind of, you set us up with all the different tracks, and we're going through, and then now we stumbled upon, your fault, and I'm just like, wait a minute. So what place were you in there? Like, take us on that journey with you.
It really was exactly that, a journey. It was a journey through all of these feelings and emotions,
Yeah.
these low moments, these high moments. How when you go through a situation, you start off like, oh gosh, I don't know, I feel so beat up. But then you get to a place where you're like, no, I got this. By the time
Yes.
I got to Your Fault, that's what it was for me. And it was like me kind of talking to the devil in the reverse and saying to him, instead of me giving you all this credit and allowing it to keep me here and keep me down, I'm going to give you the credit, and I'm going to remind you exactly what it did for me. Every
Mm.
time I go to God, every time I've had to run to him, every time you made me cry, every time you hurt me, made my heart get broken, whatever it was that you caused, it made me run right back to the cure again. So thank you for
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And
Come
if you're
on.
wondering how I found him, wondering why I need him, wondering why I love him, can't get enough of him, it's your fault. Oh,
Let's go. And that's on God.
that's on God. Mary, hallelujah.
Come on, man. You talking to me right now. Oh my good. I'm telling you, and that's like, it's like you said, it's a journey, because even listening to something when you released that earlier, just to kind of give us like a taste of what's to come. I mean, we were already excited, we were already building up, not really sure what it was. I mean, we already kind of signed off, we knew it was going to be amazing, let's just put that out there, but we were trying to figure out in what dynamics. I mean, you still kept it soulful with some of the tracks, you still kept, what everyone have gotten to love and have gotten used to from you, but then you also, like I said, you mixed it up in between, and that was just amazing, because it's one of those things you can go through depending on what season you are, what path you are in that journey. You can kind of go back and like, okay, I think it's this song for today, maybe tomorrow is this one, okay, I'm feeling a little hype, I'm going to flip on this one, so it was really good just to kind of step through with that. And
Yeah.
one thing I was going to ask, actually, before I jump into that, on your when you were doing your IG live series. You did a series, called 30 Days of Poor Habits, when you were going through that.
Yeah.
And the
Or have a
one that,
detox.
yes, Poor Habits, and the one that really like had me rolling was your son Joshua, when you mentioned how he just gathered your entire life, but it was a whole message. So can you touch a little bit on that for me?
Yeah, I was fixing him something to eat, and he didn't ask or anything. I just sent a picture. I want to be a star mother. Let me go fix him all his favorites and everything else. And on any other day, he would have wanted those things, but I just went and took it upon myself and did it. And so when I called him out to get it, he just kind of like, he kind of looked at it like, okay, well, thanks, And I was in my feelings like, thanks, that's it, like. You better be jumping. But it reminded me how many times we create these meals, for
Yeah.
people,
Hmm.
and we want to serve them what we have. This is how I want to love you. This is who I am. This is what I want to give you. And then we're offended when they don't want it. But it's
Yeah.
like it has nothing to do with you. They just didn't ask for it. They didn't say they was hungry. So I just was encouraging people that anytime you enter into something, anytime you approach someone, be who you are. That's okay.
Hmm.
But just ask if they're hungry for what you are and who you are first. And if they're not, take the plate up the block. It's cool. Like, nobody don't got to be mad. You know what I mean? Because you don't want me. And because you know what I mean? Because you don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
me. It's all right.
I love it. I love it. And I was like, someone needs to hear that again, because when I went back through and I listened to it, I was like, you know what? This can apply to so many aspects of life. But the way you express this, you're like, he just gathered my whole life. Here I am bringing this spread. And he just looked like, did I even say I was
Yeah.
hungry?
Yeah.
That
I had to pull my black mama back for a second, because was like, But even as parents, that's what it is. And it's like, if we really, portray the Cure, portray our God, we'll see he's a gentleman. He never just inserts himself in our lives. He waits until we invite him in. And that's how we have to do with people. We have to stop forcing, these things. I want you to have my love. You need that, but maybe I don't want it. Maybe I'm okay and I'm comfortable exactly how I am. And we have to be okay with that and not have to go on social media and trash people because they don't want us. You know what I mean?
I'm with it. I'm with it. And then, and then even kind of translating with that too, and thinking about, the ending now of the EP, right? All in all. So it's like when everything is said and done, you kind of I'm always fascinated of how, someone would curate the song, curate the listening experience, and then end with a certain track, start with a certain track. So all in all, why did you, I guess, decided to end with that one, and what did you want us to kind of take away from while listening to that as the final track on the EP?
Anytime, I will definitely say with this particular project, I was much more intentional, not to say that I wasn't in other ones. I always try to tell a story. This one, I wanted for the songs literally to be almost like as if you were watching a movie and they were just different scenes. You can't skip one, to get to the next scene, or else you'll miss what happened. It's a full story and you have to read the whole chapter, watch the whole book. And so I thought of it somewhat in the way of a church service, how it opens and you got praise and worship and everybody's so excited. But then somewhere in the middle, the word starts coming, like you said, and it start eating at you and you like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, but I gotta stay for the benediction, and so all in all, it's just like the amen. It's the final statement that, we know he's the big God. We've heard he's the Cure, and all the other songs, but all in all, no matter what it is that ails you, no matter what sickness, no matter what symptoms, no matter what pills you try, he is all in all. You're everything in everything.
I love it. When you're speaking, I don't even want to ask the next question. You have this rhythmic flow. If you've been speaking, it's just so poetic, and I'm here listening. Like just go. Next time I'm gonna hold up my questions. I'm gonna hold them up so you can look at the question and you don't even hear my voice. You just keep speaking. Maybe that's some of your stage play days. We didn't have enough time to get into your stage plays and all of that. But I think all that is what's coming from that. Even if something that's a 2 stanza line is just so rhythmic. So I love it. I love it. Latice, thank you so much for chatting with us, for stopping by. I know you have a pretty booked schedule. I will be tuning in tonight, even to your virtual listening session with my home girl, Terry. I'm going to be locked and loaded there. Guys, The Cure, it's out on all platforms. You need to go support her. You need to go download, you stream it, you talk about your experiences, check out the video. I mean, if you know anything about good production and even the visual, you're going to just latch on to that video. Your fault, even everything about it. I'm just going to stop talking. You need to go check it out. All right. You need to check that. Latice, thank you for coming out and chatting with us today. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.